How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Santa Cruz Highball Weight Weenie build. Now, today we're going to be looking at some bigger ticket items for dropping our weight closer to 20 pounds. Last time on the build series, we went ahead and upgraded our brakes from SRAM level TLs to Shimano XTR 2 pistons. If you haven't checked out that video, go ahead and check it out up here. All in all, great upgrade. The brakes have more power. The ergonomics are better. They're lighter. I think they look better too. And I thought all in all, it was a great upgrade. Now that we've done that, we can go ahead and focus more on some items that will shed the weight further. So we're going to actually revisit a few items we've already swapped out. Chiefly among those are going to be the saddle and the pedals. And then we're going to also be swapping out the seat post as well as the seat post clamp. So these four items should give us some pretty hefty weight savings. And while I do like the two options I went with on the saddle and the pedals, I want to try something a little bit lighter. So let me show you what I have in store. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let's get going. All right, let's go ahead and go over the parts we're going to be swapping onto the Highball today. So we have four total items, the first of which is going to be the pedals. So we went with the TIME ATAC XC6 pedals. Now these guys are a different pedal system than SPDs. SPDs are obviously pretty common, as are egg beaters. These are sort of in the middle. They're going to be a little bit heavier than egg beaters, not much, but a little bit heavier. But they're also going to be a little bit lighter than the SPDs, just purely in terms of weight. In terms of clip-in style, these are closer to SPDs than egg beaters. They still do have adjustable release tension. They have a similar, style to the SPD pedals, but they do have a slightly thicker stack height. So we'll see whether or not these work for me. I've never tried Time pedals. I've ridden with a few people who really swear by them and love them, and I think they're a unique pedal system. So we're going to give these guys a shot. They should be a little bit lighter than the XTRs on there, and they will also, like I said, give us a new experience that we haven't had before. So those are the pedals. Moving on from that, we're going to be upgrading the seat post. Here we have the Woodman Carbo EL seat post. This is a full carbon fiber seat post. It's a straight post like the one that we have on there. And this should just be a good bit lighter than the Raceface Next seat post that's on there right now. So this guy should shed some weight. To go along with that, we have this Tune seat post clamp. I'm gonna have to go ahead and open this up and show you a little bit later. But this guy is gonna be a good bit lighter. It's blue, so I'm trying to go with sort of a blue accent look on the bike here. I'm not sure exactly how good it's gonna look, but we'll give it a shot. We can always swap this out for a black one if need be. And then finally, probably the most exciting item for me at least, is a new saddle, and it's also from Tune, or Tuna. I'm not sure. It's a German company, so if anyone speaks German, I believe it should be like Tuna or something along those lines. But this company makes some really interesting lightweight parts, and we're gonna go with the Tune Komm-Vor Plus saddle, which is this guy here. Now, this is supposed to be only for road use. There's also a Komm-Vor, not the Plus model, which is rated for mountain bike use as well. I spoke to a representative, and the only difference they said was this little bit of Alcantara here is smaller on this model, and there's more of it on the basic model. I don't see why that would make a difference about road versus mountain bike use. I'm using it just for cross-country use. Obviously, any full carbon saddle is probably not going to fare too well in a crash regardless. But we'll give it a shot. If it's very uncomfortable, because this is ridiculously light and stiff, if it's very uncomfortable, I might swap it onto my road bike instead and look for something else, or just go back to the S-Works saddle. But let's give this a shot at least. I think this looks really, really good. It's really light, and hopefully this will, again, shed some weight, but also be comfortable. So let's go ahead and get these parts on the bike so that we can start shedding those grams. Let's go ahead and get some weights here with our new parts. So let's start off with our saddle, which is going to be replacing the S-Works Power. So the S-Works Power saddle comes in at 160 grams. Like I said, I really do like this saddle. It works really well for my body shape. It's just very comfortable, but I did want to do something a little bit lighter. So let's see how much lighter our Tune saddle is. Comes in this nice box. And here she is. You can see it's really just a piece of carbon fiber, right? Made in Germany. This is the Alcantara model. So you have this Alcantara strip here on the back. It should help with grip so you don't slide off. This is pretty smooth, this part here. It's got the Tune sort of logo and writing right there in the middle. I think it's a great looking saddle. So let's take a look here. List is 88 grams. This comes in at 83.6. So that is a nice weight savings on the saddle. All right, next up we have the seat post. So seat post, we're going to be replacing this Raceface Next. This is a carbon Next, but it's not the lightest one, if I'm not mistaken. I believe there is one lighter model in this lineup. But regardless, this is a little bit on the heftier side. I haven't got an exact weight, but let's take a look here. 263.8 grams, okay? And we're going to be replacing it with the Woodman Carbo EL. So this is a brand I'd never heard of before, but seems to have good reviews. I believe it's a German company, although their components are made in Taiwan. This is a good looking seat post, has the Woodman writing right here, Woodman components. This is the cradle, as you can see here. Another 2-bolt design. Hopefully it's a little bit less fiddly than the Raceface one. And you can see here it has some markings, minimum and maximum insertion. So let's check this guy out. This guy's going to come in at 137.8. That is including these 2 little wood dowels. Let's see if we can't get those off. Okay, so without the dowels, we're looking at 136.3. So that is a good bit lighter than the Raceface. Although I will say I'm a little frustrated because this is listed at 128 on the website, and that's 8 grams is a good bit heavier than that. So unfortunately a little bit overweight than the listed weight, but still a huge weight savings, over 100 grams just in the seat post. Okay, so next up, to go along with our lightened seat post, we're going to have a lighter seat post clamp. This is the standard stock Santa Cruz seat post clamp that comes with the bike. This guy comes in at 18.6 grams. And we're going to be replacing it with this guy right here. This is another product from Tune, and it is the Schwabberger Sattelrüstspanner Blau, which is, well, that means seat post clamp, and this means blue. I have no idea what that means. But it comes packaged in this sort of wax paper. And here we go. Good looking clamp. Tune logo right there on the front. Uses a hex, so not a Torx. 5 Newton meters. Let's see here. So 18.4 for the Santa Cruz. This guy's going to come in at 10.8. So just about 8 more grams saved there. So the 8 grams that, we lost with the seat post, I guess we get back here. But yeah, a good bit lighter, and I think better looking. I think it's a unique sort of looking clamp. It does kind of continue the blue sort of color thing I have going with the bike, and it does kind of match the other blue shades. So I do like that. Let's hope it works well, and let's hope it looks good when it's on the bike. And then finally, we have our pedals. So we're going to be swapping out the XTRs, which I put on here in a previous episode, episode 3, I believe. I put on these XTR pedals. They're great pedals. I do like the lower stack height. I have to worry even less about rock strikes. I'm not really that aggressive of a rider, so I don't worry too much about rock strikes anyways. But they are nice and thin, which is nice, and they're mostly metal, which is more durable. Clipping in is classic SPD, feels good, but a little bit on the heavy side as far as lightweight pedals go. These guys come in at 310 for the pair. And we're going to be replacing them with the TIME ATAC XC6. Now, I do plan on doing a full review of these guys, so look out on the channel for that. That'll be coming in the somewhat near future once I get some miles logged onto these. But these are the XC6 model, sort of the mid-range model. It goes all the way up to XC12, and those are a good bit lighter than these guys, but they're like $317. These were $100. So, you know, right around, you know, a little bit more than half the price of these XTR pedals, but they're actually lighter, as you're going to see in a moment here. A little bit thicker stack height. So, you know, we'll see if that causes any problems with rock strikes or anything along those lines. A lot of people swear by these, so I don't really think it's going to be that much of an issue, but it might take a little bit getting used to compared to the XTRs. I went with the XC6 mostly because they still have adjustable release tension. The XC2s and XC4s do not have that, although they are similar in weight. The XC8s and XC12s have all those features, plus they are lighter, but the price difference from the 6 to the 8 doesn't make it worth it because it's only like 4 grams lighter. And then the 12 is lighter, but it's like 3 times the price. So I went with these. Let's check them out. These guys are going to come out to 290 grams. So 20 more grams saved here on pedals. And hopefully they work for me. I think they look great, and hopefully they work as well as they look. So let's get all these parts on the bike, and then we can go ahead and take her out for another test ride. Hopefully everything goes swimmingly, and we should now be working our way down closer to that 20-pound weight goal because these parts in combination are going to result in quite a hefty drop in weight. So let's get these parts on. Let's take her out for a spin. How's it going, everybody? Quick little sit rep here on the upgrades to the bike in this last round. I'm out here at Henrico State Park in California. It's been a gorgeous fall afternoon, and I've been putting the bike through its paces. I've been riding the bike for about 2 weeks now with these new upgrades, just to give them a sort of a fair amount of time before I give some judgment. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the brakes, the saddle and seat post, as well as the pedals. So the brakes, they were last episode, but I've had some more time to adjust them, and I really do love these XTR brakes. They're obviously not as powerful as, 4-piston, SLX, XT, whatever. They are true cross-country brakes, but they do what they're supposed to do. They're powerful,
The lever feels great for me, and I have no complaints whatsoever. Really happy with them. I can't wait to see what they operate like with some Shimano rotors, because I'm still running my old SRAM rotors. But once I switch out these wheels, I'll get some nice XT or XTR rotors to go along with them. Saddle and seat post, they've been great. I was a little concerned at first that the Tune saddle will be a little bit uncomfortable or flimsy, given that it's a road saddle. But I've had no complaints. You know, I've taken this bike out for some pretty long rides, never had any issues. It took a little bit of getting used to start with, but now that I'm used to the shape of the saddle, I have to say it's comfortable. Obviously, it's going to be less comfortable than, you know, something with maybe a little bit more give. But as long as you wear good, you know, good quality chamois, you're good to go. Seat post, I mean, it's a seat post, it works. It is a little annoying in that it's hard to adjust the where it clamps onto the saddle, just by the nature of the sort of angle here. You don't have a lot of space, so this front bolt is a little bit hard to adjust because you can't really get a torque wrench in there. And given that this is sort of a lightweight carbon component, I do want to use a torque wrench on that. The clamp, it's a clamp, works great, looks good. And then the pedals, I had a little bit of issues in that the adjustment screw that allows you to select how hard it is to release from the pedals, that is set at the lowest level when they ship them to you, but they don't tell you that. And it's a plastic screw, and so I tried to reduce it a little bit, and then I snapped the plastic screw. Now, thankfully, Time/SRAM were nice enough to send me a warranty replacement free of charge, so that got taken care of. And now that I know that, I know not to adjust it lower when you first get the pedals. But beyond that, they've been great. I was initially a little concerned that maybe they'd be a little more finicky or harder to get out of than SPDs, but I love the way they clip in. There's a nice audible click when you come in and out. They release well. They did need a few rides for the cleats to sort of wear down a little bit before they started to release a little bit more cleanly. Initially, there was a little bit of a hard time releasing, but once I got that all figured out, I really am happy with these pedals. They're lighter than the SPDs. The float is nice, kind of allows you to let your knees sort of fall where they want to fall naturally. And like I said, the release and the clip-in is really nice. So next time, we're going to go ahead and replace these heavy wheels with some nice carbon ones. We're also going to go ahead and replace the rotors with some Shimano rotors. And that should be a pretty big ticket item in terms of dropping the weight down closer to our 20-pound weight goal. So thank you all for following along. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider subscribing if you haven't done so yet. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.